Oh, the weekend is almost here, and I, for one, am darn proud of that. Happy about it anyway. 29th day of May, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Did you survive last night? Wow, as advertised. Very dramatic weather all over north central Washington, all over our viewing area. I was dead to the world, deep into sleep at 10:30 last night, almost to the second, and then boom. I woke up. I think we all did if you were sleeping. What a nutty, crazy, dramatic weather scenario we had last night. I got some interesting weather statistics to show you in just a little bit and talk about while we show you some time-lapse footage. We're going to have that in just a little bit. But now things have calmed down. It is 63 degrees. The big story today is going to be the wind in most of our viewing area, especially here in the Wenatchee Valley and the Waterville Plateau and the Columbia Basin, with all of those lightning strikes, and there were just a gazillion of them last night during the thunderstorm. There may be some sleeper fires out there, some smoldering fires in some pretty remote locations that they don't know about yet because it was all in the middle of the night. So there could be some sleeper fires. So now that the sun is up and has been for almost 2 hours now, they might send up helicopters and planes to kind of look around to see if there's any fires that are just smoldering with all those lightning strikes. And of course, with the wind, yikes. Anyway, things are going to change quite a bit. The only big thing to talk about is going to be quite breezy for the next couple of days. We'll get to the weather. We'll get to the news. We'll get to sports. We'll get to Mike Benatti's opinion. Well, you can't have everything. And Kevin Harvick is in town. They did a wing ding, a VIP wing ding up at the Highlander Golf Course yesterday with Kevin Harvick, NASCAR legend. Of course, tonight is practice at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, and then the big event tomorrow, the Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200. $25,000 goes to whoever takes the checkered flag tomorrow night at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Jeremy Anders and I and Kevin Harvick together in the back half of the program. And let's take our tour. And there is the Wenatchee Valley. We tilted that up a little bit. Look at that. Still some residual stuff from what happened yesterday, but it's all the dramatic stuff is now gone now. It is going to be considerably cooler today than it was yesterday. I'll tell you this right now. We had 93 on Thursday. That was just 1 degree off the record. We're not going to get to 93 today. We'll be about 20 degrees cooler for the afternoon high. We're going to go from almost a record high to below normal in a very short period of time. That's the Hay Canyon camera. Good morning to Kashmir. Always good to see you folks. How did Lake Chelan do last night? Let's check in with Green's Knob. As you can see, the lake bathtub still isn't full yet. A little behind on that, but there's only so much they can do with the runoff. Yes, they can control the level of the lake, but only to a certain amount. If there's no snow melting to feed the streams and the creeks that fill up Lake Chelan, there's not a lot that the PUD can do about it. That's a nice shot from Green's Knob. And we say hello to Lake Wenatchee, which has quite a bit of cloud cover up there. In Lake Wenatchee right now, they do have a weather station. It's kind of mild. It's 57 there up at Nanapac Ridge. Here's some time lapse that we took from all that stuff. This is from high up number 1 Canyon. Just incredible stuff. Crazy. Woke me up. I was awake for about 45 minutes. The rain coming down sideways, howling wind. Oh man, everybody got hammered pretty good. Check out some of these statistics from yesterday. First of all, we got 3/4 of an inch of rain, which is a new record, and all of that came down between 10:15 and midnight. And at midnight, of course, everything starts all over again because the storm overlapped Thursday into early this morning. So 3/4 of an inch of rain shattered the old record on May 28th by a bunch, and it all came down between 10:15 and midnight. And since midnight, when everything starts all over again, you hit Control-Alt-Delete, we've gotten an extra ½ an inch, and all of that came down between midnight and about 1:15 in the morning. So even though it's only a little bit past 7 on this Friday, we have already set the record rainfall for this date as well. So all things considered, torrential downpours, and that's just the Wenatchee Valley measured up at Pangbourne. And then there's this. Check this out. At 10 o'clock last night, it was 79 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. At 10:30 last night, it was 65 degrees. The temperature dropped 14 degrees in half an hour between 10 and 10:30, and that's when things really got cattywampus. And again, I would not be surprised at all if there's a couple of sleeper little wildfires out there that are just slumbering, caused by lightning strikes that authorities don't know about yet. But now that it's daylight, if there is some sleeper fires out there, they'll probably be able to keep an eye on it. There was one pretty good one up Brewster Way for a little while there. It was a level 3 evacuation last night. They've since downgraded that to level 2. Most of the fires in that area have been put out because of the rain. So if you're going to have lightning strikes, at least you want torrential rain to tamper down the chance of wildfires. From Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Another trough is barking on our basement, and it'll be here by this afternoon. We can still see some raindrops. You can see there's some, pretty low-level clouds there. So there is a chance of some rain today. Most of it in the morning hours. We'll see partly sunny skies. But as the day progresses, it'll get windy. It'll be breezy this morning and then windy this afternoon. It'll be about 20 miles an hour. A northwest wind about 20 miles an hour this afternoon. Gusts at 30 miles an hour late this afternoon into the early evening hours. It's going to be breezy tonight. Again, sustained wind at about 20 miles an hour, but you can see gusts between 30 and 35 miles an hour tonight in the Wenatchee Valley, also the Waterville Plateau, also the Columbia Basin. Saturday, lots of sunshine, very little wind most of the day on Saturday. It's going to be a little breezy on Saturday night, but not really windy. But you'll want to bundle up. If you're heading to the Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200 at the WVSO tomorrow night, you want to be prepared for some pretty chilly temperatures. Perfect for the racers, though. They love that. We wrap up the weekend and the month of May. Sunday with sunshine and a high of 76. Monday is June, and it's going to feel like June. Gobs of gooey good sunshine and a high of about 80. Whew. But the dramatic stuff is behind us now, except the wind today and tonight. Going to take a break and come back with your Friday news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Vape companies have a history of targeting teens. Now, they've been caught red-handed marketing to minors in Washington state and forced to pay millions in a major lawsuit. When it comes to your health, choose what matters. Choose you. Nicotine in vapes can increase feelings of anxiety and depression. Though quitting isn't always easy, it's a great way to care for your mental health. When you're ready to take control of your well-being, choose the Tomorrow Health app. It's free for Washington teens and proven to work.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
There are some clouds out there at 63 degrees. The clouds will be thinning out. We have a chance of rain this morning, but basically we'll see some sunshine and some windy conditions. This afternoon is going to be breezy tonight. A little bit of a wind, hit and miss wind on Saturday, and Saturday night temperatures will be slightly below normal through the weekend. Then we warm right back up again on Monday, June 1st. Just about 10 minutes after the hour, the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities says more improvement is needed at Wenatchee Valley College after another campus evaluation last month. Last year, the commission found that the college was out of compliance with accreditation standards after conducting a special evaluation in April of last year. That investigation was prompted by NCW Life's Campus Crisis Special Report that we aired in October of 2024, which investigated claims of a toxic work culture within the college. The commission's latest report says while the college has improved in some areas, its administration has not yet exemplified high ethical standards in management. It also says the college lacks accurate financial data and has no transparent financial reporting process. The new recommendations by the commission says the college needs to resolve financial reporting concerns, clearly document and communicate the decision-making process, and implement effective management practices in order to keep its good standing. Well, of course, June begins Monday, and that means burn bans in several counties in our area. They'll go into effect on Monday. Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties have bans that begin June 1st, and they do that pretty much every year. Okanagan County's burn restrictions usually begin in the middle of June, but this year they also said we're going to start June 1st to be in line with our neighbors, and it will only allow recreational fires, no other outdoor burning. The burn ban in Chelan County's higher elevation begins July 1st, unless an earlier start is recommended by Chelan County's fire marshal. The bans are put in place to reduce the risk of wildfires during the summer months. Republican committee members in Grant County are looking for applicants to take over the auditor's office. It'll be a temporary job. Elected auditor Michelle Jaderland announced earlier this month she's going to be retiring at the end of June after 12 years in office. Jaderland is a Republican, and state law requires a vacant partisan office to be filled by a person of that same political party until the next election. The Grant County GOP is soliciting applications by June 12th. From those, it'll recommend 3 candidates to the county commissioners for appointment, and they will make the final decision. Currently, there are 3 people running in the primary for Jaderland's office, which oversees elections, county budgets, and more. All 3 are Republicans. The healthcare system serving Moses Lake and the Columbia Basin has a new chief executive officer. Alex Town, who previously served as chief administrative officer, was appointed CEO effective last week by the board of Samaritan Healthcare. He replaces Teresa Sullivan, who's had that job since 2015 and helped guide Samaritan through several transitions, including the opening of their new Moses Lake Medical Center back in March. As new CEO, Town says he hopes to capitalize on those innovations, as well as Samaritan's planned residency center partnership with Washington State University's College of Medicine. Samaritan is a community-owned health system which has operated a hospital and clinics in the Columbia Basin since 1947. Fishing and hunting licenses in Washington will no longer be a cash affair. That starts next month. The Department of Fish and Wildlife says it will transition away from accepting cash for in-person license sales. That starts on June 11th. The agency says it did so to avoid rounding up the cost of transactions as the U.S. currency system phases out the penny. A new state law passed in March requires agencies to round out sales prices on cash transactions for tax purposes. After the deadline, Fish and Wildlife will only accept debit cards, credit cards, or checks for in-person payments. At its offices, the agency says any other approach would cost tens of thousands of dollars because they would have to update their point-of-sale system. And this is cool. A Grant Elementary School's 6th grader is now in the Safety Patrol Hall of Fame. Zayden Bustos Cortez was one of 10 students statewide to be recognized by AAA Washington for their leadership and commitment to keeping their communities safe. There are 270 students total in the Washington Hall of Fame, and they are nominated by advisors of their school programs. Zayden, who also holds a student job helping kindergarten students during breakfast, was recognized for helping a transitional kindergarten student practice safer behavior while crossing the street. Advisor Polly Schneider said the young student began to run outside the marked crosswalk, but Zayden kept calm and helped guide him back to safety. Good for him. Quick update on the malware attack from Sunday that has shut down most of the online and phone services for Chelan County government. The update is there is no update. They're still working on it. The Chelan County websites are all still down, Phone systems are still down, so it's been a bit of a tough row for those folks in Chelan County government and the campuses there. Again, open for business for the most part, but for the most part, if you need to do business with the county, you're going to have to go to the county courthouse in person. And that is the news on this Friday. The weekend is almost here. You want to start your weekend by being informed of what's going on around here. We have a little program that does just exactly that. It's called What's Going On Around Here. I'm being told in my earpiece, it's actually called the NCAA Life Evening News. My bad. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV. 5, 6, and 10 on TV. If you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCAA Life channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. "17 minutes after the hour of sports, the Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks meet for the first time this season tonight in Seattle. The Diamondbacks are hot. They've won 5 in a row, 9 out of their last 10. They're tied for second in the National League West. That's pretty good. Arizona's 13-14 in road games. They are 31-24 overall. The Mariners are 14-15 at T-Mobile Park. They are 28-29 overall, but they are in first place in the AL West. George Kirby starts for Seattle. First pitch on King TV. You can watch it on King tonight at 7:10. After the Diamondbacks play a 3-game weekend series with the Mariners, the Mets come to town starting on Monday. Not a lot of baseball action yesterday in the American League West. Just a few teams were in action. There's your scoreboard. Astros beat the Rangers in a divisional game 5-1, and the Angels routed the Tigers. Gee, have you heard there's racing tomorrow night at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval? A couple things you need to know about. They're asking you because of cell tower, the remote location of the track and cell towers, that if you want to buy everything with your phone or debit card or whatever, it might not be such a good idea to bring cash. They want you to bring cash to buy your food and your beer or whatever it is. That way you know you'll be able to get what you want. Don't forget, parking will be very tight. The gates open at 4 o'clock. The first race will be at 5:35. That's the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars. At 6 o'clock, Apple Valley Pumping Legends. And then the big one, $25,000 to win. Kevin Harvick is in town to participate. The Plum Perfect Wenatchee 200. It's going to be a great night of racing tomorrow night. And again, our conversation with Kevin Harvick re-airs in the bottom of the hour. All right, go Eastmont. The Eastmont Wildcat boys soccer team are 2 victories away from their first ever state championship. I'd like their odds. They'll take on Lincoln High out of Seattle at Spark Stadium in Puyallup at noon today. Eastmont's the number 7 seed. Lincoln's the number 7 seed. After that, number 5 Newport will take on number 8 Sumner in the other semifinal at 2:15. A Wildcat victory, and they will play for the state championship at 4 o'clock tomorrow in Puyallup. Go Eastmont. All right, they are underway. The WIAA State Track and Field Championships began yesterday for the big schools. They're at Mount Tahoma High School in Tacoma. Good start for the Lady Panther track team. They are currently tied for first in the team standings because Riley Jones got third in the javelin throw and her teammate Jalen Rasmussen got fourth. Good start. Congratulations to Connor Schwab. He gets a medal. He got on the podium. He finished seventh in the boys shot put from Eastmont. Down in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, all the local ladies from the local schools had a pretty good Thursday, especially Camden Carlton. Out of OMAC, congratulations to Camden. She is the girls high jump 1A state champion. Way to go for her. And you can see how all the other teams did as well. Again, the state 1B, 2B, 1A track and field championships are at Zeffel Stadium in Yakima. Yesterday was a pretty quiet day. It gets really busy all over, both in Tacoma and in Yakima today, and especially on Saturday. And for the boys, finishing fourth in the triple jump, Cole Mitchell out of Brewster. Fourth place in the pole vault in 1A, Zane Pace out of Cashmere. And Brewster's Preston Thompson finished fourth in the javelin throw. And again, they just got going yesterday. A lot more to do today. Go local teams. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. I didn't discover this until a couple of days ago, but nobody bothered to patent the paperclip. Somebody's missing out on a bunch of royalties. It's National Paperclip Day today. The paperclip's been around for about 160 years, but nobody patented it. Nobody really knows even who invented the darn thing. We use them. We sell. They sell about 11 billion paper clips every year, and it has any number of uses besides holding paper together. Some people believe that the paperclip was invented in Norway, of course, during World War II. Wearing a paperclip on your lapel was a sign of rebellion and resistance for the people of Norway when they were occupied by Nazi Germany. The Nazis really didn't quite figure that out. The word, the Norwegian word for paperclip means gem. And of course, whenever we send out an email with an attachment, they still use that little paperclip icon to let you know. It's still kind of cool. So you know, earlier in the day, we celebrated National Cellophane Scotch Tape Day. Earlier in the week, now it's Paperclip Day today. I don't know why. Today in history, guess that flag. Now, this is one of my favorite flags. The Arizona state flag is my favorite by far, but this is absolutely in my top 5 of state flags. Take a look at this flag. I'll take a look at it. Think about it just a little bit. Isn't that a cool flag? That's a neat flag. That is the state flag of Rhode Island, who became the 13th and last colony to join the Union. They ratified the Constitution on this date in 1790, so the original 13 colonies are now in place. Ironically enough, Rhode Island was the first of the colonies to tell George to take a hike. They really did. Rhode Island was the first colony to tell George III to dump them. They did that in May of 1776 before the Union itself did. Of course, it's the smallest state in the Union. It also has the longest name. The official name of Rhode Island is the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Rhode Island is the ocean state. The state motto is right there on the flag, hope. And you got to admit, that's a cool flag. That's a really good flag. The state song of Rhode Island, it's for me. There you go. Rhode Island is divided into 5 counties, but they don't have any county governments. They just have 5 counties for geographical purposes. The 35 cities and towns in Rhode Island actually handles all local government affairs. And Rhode Island is one of only 4 states that the governor has to find a place to live. There is no official governor's residence in Rhode Island. Same deal as California, Arizona, and Massachusetts. The governors of those states and Rhode Island, if you get the job, you got to find an apartment or a house. So I'm told. Happy birthday, Rhode Island. From one of my favorite state flags to one of the worst. You can do better than this, Wisconsin. You really can, but we love you, Wisconsin. Wisconsin joined the Union 178 years ago today. It is the 30th state. It has no official nickname. Everybody calls it the Badger State, but it doesn't actually have an official nickname. The state motto of Wisconsin, forward. That's pretty good. The state song, big surprise there, on Wisconsin. The fight song, which is also the fight song of Eastmont High School, and it's also a fight song whose copyright is owned by Paul McCartney. Margarine was, of course, because Wisconsin is the dairy state, they produce more milk and butter than any state in the union by far. And because of that, margarine was actually against the law in Wisconsin forever. When it was finally repealed in 1967, it had to be served white only. Margarine in its natural state is white, and they inject it with yellow dye to make it look like butter, but you couldn't even buy margarine until 1967, and after that it had to be white so you knew it was margarine. Restaurants were prohibited to serve margarine unless they also served butter. Those restrictions, by the way, they finally lifted those about 15 years ago. Wisconsin state symbol is the badger, but they're not talking about the actual animal, the badger animal. It was about miners. Miners who would travel, itinerant miners who would travel from mine to mine, and at night they would dig holes and sleep in the holes. They got nicknamed badgers. So when you think about the badger state, I always thought about the badger, the animal. It's actually about miners. If you'd like to snowmobile, move to Wisconsin. They got 15,000 miles of groomed snowmobile trails in Wisconsin, and this staggering fact, they love to hunt deer in Wisconsin. Now, the deer hunting season in the autumn in Wisconsin is only 9 days, and last year, or 2 years ago, which is the most recent statistics I could find, during the 9-day deer hunting season in Wisconsin, hunters killed 192,327 deer in 9 days. That's a lot of Edison. Happy birthday, Wisconsin. Major League Baseball had a really good day on this date 104 years ago today. May 29, 1922, the United States Supreme Court, in an opinion written by the legendary Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., ruled unanimously that Major League Professional Baseball is a sport and not a business, and is therefore exempt from antitrust laws. It is still the only sport that is exempt from antitrust laws, which is good news. And the bad news is that whenever lawmakers get mad at Major League Baseball, they'll say, we'll just get rid of it, because the Congress does have the power to do that. They haven't. By the way, Major League Baseball is a business, in case you didn't know. And on this date, 1953, they made it. The very first people to make it to the summit of the tallest mountain in the world. They did it. Edmund Hillary and his Sherpa Tenzing Norgay become the first people to reach the summit of Mount Everest on this date 73 years ago today. Before they made it to the top, nobody really knew exactly how tall Mount Everest was. I mean, it was just guesswork. But by climbing, they figured out exactly how tall it was. And Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay measured Mount Everest as exactly 29,000 feet tall. And on their way down, they said, nobody's going to believe that the tallest mountain in the world is exactly 29,000 feet. So they added an extra 29 feet just so people would believe them. As it turns out, it's actually 29,031 feet, 8.5 inches. They can measure it exactly now with today's equipment. They made it to the top of the world on this date 73 years ago today. Birthdays. Leslie Towns Hope, Bob Hope. Born in England in 1903, emigrated with his family to Cleveland when he was 4 years old. There's a great book out there. It's called Entertainer of the Century. And the author makes a pretty good case that Bob Hope was, in fact, the entertainer of the century. It's a remarkable career. He's all but forgotten today. And in his research for his book on Bob Hope, which is a really good biography, I highly recommend that you read it, he discovered a little tidbit. Bob Hope and his wife Dolores Reed, always maintained they were married in Reading, Pennsylvania in February of 1934. So when the author did the research on this, he discovered there is no record of Bob and Dolores Hope getting married in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1934. There's no record of them getting married anywhere. There's no marriage certificate, no marriage license. There's not even a photo of their marriage ceremony. And if it was true, and there are members of Bob Hope's family who believe that they actually never did get married, but if it was true that Bob and Dolores Hope actually got married in February of 1934, Bob was a bigamist because he hadn't gotten divorced yet from his first wife. That divorce decree didn't become official until November of 1934. Any way you look at it, the legendary Bob Hope, born in the state in 1903, and the man who lived less than any other president, the shortest lifespan of any president. When you're murdered, that's usually going to be the case. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, born in the state in 1917, the 35th president of the United States. We've had only 2 Roman Catholic presidents. He was the first one. He and I have one thing in common. We both don't much care for wearing hats. I'm not a hat wearer. Neither was JFK. He learned how to shake hands in public because all politicians do, but he hated any handshake that lasted more than a minute. And he was an incredible speed reader. He could read 2,000 words a minute with 95% comprehension. He would read 4 newspapers front to back every morning in 15 minutes. It takes me 15 minutes to read the front page. JFK, born in the state in 1915. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. We talked about that temperature variation. Your HVAC system had no idea what to do yesterday. It was 93 degrees in the afternoon, and now the heater's probably on. Make sure that your HVAC system can handle those kind of temperature variations. That's pretty crazy anomaly there. Your first call should always be to Alpine Air. Going to take a break, and then our conversation via Zoom with Kevin Harvick, who's in the big city to race the Wenatchee 200 tomorrow night. Jeremy Anders and me here in Wenatchee, and Kevin via Zoom. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, consider this. If you're a white person like me and not a member of the Mayflower Society, you have to realize that virtually every black person and every Native American in this country has a longer history of being an American than you and I have. Actually, this longevity applies to many of our Hispanic citizens as well. However, the current administration, in their dismantling of the ideals of equity, diversity, and inclusion, is actively working to deny non-white citizens the recognition and acceptance they deserve. Now, if my research is correct, all this being done by someone whose paternal ancestor, Friedrich Trump, didn't immigrate to the United States until 1885. Friedrich's wife, Elizabeth Christ, didn't get here until 1902. Huh. I wonder if they got here legally. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Welcome back to the program. There has been big days at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, big evenings at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, and then there's this Friday and Saturday, which is, quite frankly, and I'm not gilding a lily here, the biggest couple of days of racing the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval has seen since it opened its doors back in 1970, because a racing icon is coming to town to try out our little short track, and everybody is talking about Mr. Kevin Harvick. Will be here in the big city for a number of days to do all kinds of things, most importantly, to race in the Wenatchee 200. I'm Dan Kuntz. He's Jared, help me up. Jason Andrews. It's Jeremy Andrews, everybody. And live back from his home, I believe in the Carolinas, is via Zoom, is Kevin Harvick. Hello, Kevin.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
We're great. We're doing great. First question for you. Just got back. You were in Indianapolis just a couple of days ago. What's that like? I mean, I watched the Indy 500 from beginning to end. I'm told television doesn't do it justice. What's the Indy 500 like?
Well, I actually didn't go to the race. I just went to shoot our podcasts, and we were fortunate to spend some time with the Indianapolis 500 winner and Lando Norris from Formula One as part of our broadcast this week. So that was my first week off since we got done with our broadcasting portion of the year for the season, and I knew I had to leave Monday. So honestly, I laid on the couch for 2 days and watched racing. So that worked out pretty well. Have you ever done an open wheel Indy type car? Have you got behind one of those babies and gone 240 miles an hour? I haven't. No, everything I did was I started in go-karts, and I actually grew up in Bakersfield, California. So when you grow up in Bakersfield, California, you rooted for the Mears gang, and so growing up, that's what I wanted to do was race in the Indy 500, and never got to do that. I got to do that in a stock car and went at the Brickyard a few times through the years, and was fortunate. That's about as close as you can get to living out your childhood dream if you don't race Indy cars, at least winning at the marquee track that they go to. But I was fortunate to go to Indianapolis in a time when it looked just like the Indy 500 as far as the amount of people and things that were at the track, and there's not much else like it. It's a special place. They had a fantastic race this weekend with the Indy 500, and the finish was unbelievable. And I was just like everybody else, though, laying on my couch watching it. Didn't actually go for the race. I've actually never been to the Indy 500. I told Eric Shanks from Fox yesterday. It feels like I'm cheating on my wife when you got the Coke 600 at home and you've got the Indy 500, and I didn't feel right going and being present at the race this year, so I stayed home and watched.
But you did win 3 Brickyard 500s in your career, and that in and of itself is pretty impressive. Jeremy, talk about how this marriage came together. How did you convince Mr. Harvick to come to little old Wenatchee, Washington, USA?
Well, I think we started about a couple years ago. Kevin really is a fan of West Coast racing and really cares about West Coast racing, and we started in bringing the Cars Tour West Northwest Series together a couple years ago, and the schedule finally fine-tuned for this year. And one of the tracks that Kevin talked about coming to race was Wenatchee, and the Wenatchee 200 is a signature race. It's the richest one-day race on the West Coast, which is pretty amazing. And having Kevin out here is going to be amazing. We've had a lot of big drivers the last couple of years for the Wenatchee 200, and Kevin's really stepping that game up this year, and we're excited about it. But Kevin, maybe just talk about your history with West Coast short track racing.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I grew up in Bakersfield, California, so I've actually never been to the Wenatchee Raceway, and so I was jealous when Keelan got to go up there, last month or month before, whenever that was. It all kind of runs together at this point. But the background and sitting in the mountains and all the things that they were able to explore and see on their way to the racetrack and around. On the evenings is something that I'm looking forward to. I've been to Evergreen and the old Portland Oval that is no longer there, but those are really the only 2 places that I had been in the Northwest. So for us, late model short track racing on the West Coast is really what springboarded my career in the direction that it did. At that time in the mid-90s, the late 90s, there was still regional touring series and very structured and organized. And it really has become disjointed over the last 20 years. So myself and Dale Jr., Justin Marks, Jeff Burton, we bought one of the East Coast series and started the Cars Tour. That was, we purchased the Cars Tour, was already the name of the series. And so we got involved in the Kern County Raceway in Bakersfield, and now it's Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway, being my hometown. And with as well as everything was going on the East Coast, the racers and everybody involved in short track racing back here were just giving them a stable, organized, structured weekly place to race was something that seemed to be working. And the West Coast was in a very unique spot because the Northwest had one set of rules, the Southwest had another set of rules, different divisions, different classes. And I'm like, you know what? Let's jump in and see if we can help coordinate to get all these groups back together nationally. And the Jeremy and the group of racetracks up in the Northwest is very unique because they actually work together, which is not the case in most part of the country. And so we started having conversations a couple of years ago to try to get things reorganized. And I think we were all a little bit nervous as to how that was going to go, because we have pro late models which have a little bit less horsepower than the cars we'll race this weekend with the super late models, but they were all so close, and everybody was kind of in survival mode to not really knowing what to do to take those big steps to get the whole country back aligned like it used to be 20 years ago. But the thing that I've learned is there's a whole bunch of racers in the Northwest that are very passionate about what they do, and a lot of local guys that follow the different tours that have happened and race at the local racetracks. And it's actually been, once we got over the initial shock of are we actually going to do this, and is everybody on board, and we got everybody on board to do this, it's really been a home run as far as the races that we've done. And as this goes forward, there's a real possibility now to where we can take the different regions, Northwest, Southwest, East Coast, Midwest, all those different regions, and now that the rules are the same, you can really bring these different groups of racers together to race against each other, which is what you want. You want to be able to have that measuring stick. And so being able to come to Wenatchee this weekend and race for the first time, have a great field of cars, which we were all a little bit nervous about as far as trying to keep the classes separate and not just have a run what you brung type of race. But I truly believe that the racers enjoy when we separate those two divisions and have the structure and organization, and we can put these big events on. And I think this weekend is just another example of being able to put one of those big events on with the amount of cars and people that we have at the racetrack. So I want to be involved. Obviously, it won't be all the time, but getting this established was a real priority, you know, for myself and everybody else, to make sure that we got off on the right foot and being able to make these marquee events and make them part of the community again, and make the community awareness higher than what it has been in the past. And so as we go to these different markets, to get that community awareness of hey, we're having a big event, but come back next week because racing's really cool and you can have fun at the racetrack and bring your kids out here and have a good time. And that's what racing is. It's a family sport. I've grown up around it my whole life, love the people, love the atmosphere, and looking forward to going back short track racing again this year.
Kevin, let me ask you this. You've been spending a little more time in front of the camera, broadcasting for Fox. You have a couple of shows. You, as you mentioned before, you've done some team ownership, and now you have a circuit that you're a member of. How do you keep your skills sharp? How often do you get a chance to actually get behind the wheel of a car and make sure you still got what it takes?
Not often. I raced in January in Tucson, Arizona, and then we raced in March in Bakersfield. You know, the TV stuff kind of takes priority during the 14 weeks that we cover the NASCAR tour on Sundays. So this will be the first time I've been back in the car since March when I ran the super late model last. But so far it comes back pretty quick, and I've got a 13-year-old that reminds me that I'm not very good at it anymore. So that is high motivation to go out and kick his butt, just to show him that you know, that is still possible. So it's fun, and that's really one of the things that, since Keelan has been racing go-karts and cars and all the things that he has done, and we got involved in the Cars Tour and the ownership side of trying to make all these things work, you remember why you like racing, and that's because you love just going out and being a part of the show and the event. And it's the first time in 30 years that I've been able, over the last couple of years, to go out and race for fun. My result doesn't really matter anymore because I can go to the racetrack and have a good time. I'm not worried about making a living at it anymore. I can go and enjoy the event, the people, the atmosphere, and all the things that come with that. So you know, it's really enjoyable to be able to go out and do that, and for the love of racing. And that's, when you get into the short track world, that passion that people have for these events and these cars and just all the things that go with it is fun to share with guys that are doing it for a hobby and looking to try to make a career out of it for the young guys. So and that's what we're looking for. We want the Hayden Plybons of the world to go out and get this exposure that they deserve for being a good racer and get an opportunity. And you know, the Cars Tour East has really been the hotbed for the prospects that have gone into ARCA and the Truck Series, and we've got, you know, 6, 7, 8 guys that have gone on to the National Touring Series now, and that's what we want all over the country, because you know, when I started and kind of went with RCR, it was, you know, California wasn't really the hotbed of on everybody's radar, but it became that way because at one point we had 9 of us, you know, from California that were in the Cup Series, and obviously Greg Biffle and, you know, from the Northwest. So a lot of great racers out here, and we want to make sure they get their fair shake at getting the exposure they deserve to make a living at it.
Kevin, you're coming to Wenatchee. You're a West Coast racing legend, but Wenatchee's home to a West Coast racing legend, Garrett Evans. Maybe to talk about that, you're coming to Wenatchee, but also, I mean, he was racing against you back when you were a teenager, racing against your son, not, you know, and by the way, he just won a race 2 weeks ago in a modified, but talk about your history with Garrett Evans.
Yeah, so Garrett was racing before I could race. So, you know, that blue 64 was always iconic when it came to, you know, the Southwest Tour and the Northwest Tour and those events that we had. So I grew up watching Garrett and you know, Mike Chase and Rick Corelli and Ron Hornaday and so many of those guys that battled out on the West Coast for so many years. But when you had the big races and everybody came across the country and we went to Phoenix, and those guys were the ones that were racing up in the front of the field, and so it's the Garrett Evans type of people that keep this sport going. And Garrett has been in the driver's seat, around the racetrack, owning racetracks, whatever it is. Those are the passionate people that it takes in order to keep these short track series alive, for the people that that not only want to go to the racetrack and race, but want to see it succeed when they're gone. And that's really what we're trying to do, is reestablish this into the marquee places to get your experience to move to the next step, because somebody wants you to drive their car, or your local team, as happened for me, your local team says, hey, let's build some cars and race around the country. And so Garrett's been a big part of that for a long time, and that, I think that would be considered baby blue. Is that fair?
Yeah. We call Evans blue in the Northwest.
Yeah. So that baby blue 64 was iconic for so many years, and such a big part of keeping, especially in the Northwest, racing alive.
People are going to come from all over the Pacific Northwest to the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Friday night practice, Saturday night the Wenatchee 200. I'll ask Kevin and Jeremy both, what's Kevin's itinerary? How do people, outside of paying a ticket on Saturday night and watching some legend race in our own little town, how do people see Kevin, get to meet Kevin, that kind of deal? What's his itinerary for the weekend?
He's a busy weekend this weekend. Comes to town Thursday, tomorrow, and he has a dinner at Highlander Golf Course, which is sold out, it's going to be great. He's, the scenic backdrops up there.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. And then Friday night, we have practice. You can come watch him practice all day long. And then Friday night, we have a qualifying draw for the drivers and teams that we're doing. And then Saturday in the race day, we have the VIP experience at the track, which we've sold out as well. And then after the race on Saturday night, Kevin will be in the pits along with Keelan and all the other drivers, and go down there and get autographs signed there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have any questions for us before we cut you loose? I know you're a busy guy. Anything you want to know about us?
No, not really. I think it's that last part is important, though, because when I was a kid, the after the race part was super important, and so many times that we go to the racetrack now, and we have some great VIP experiences and things that we will do, but it's important for the fans to realize that they can come down in the pits and after the race, and because those are some of the best memories that I have as a child. Cars are still hot, you can still hear them cooling off, and all the things that go with the race car after the race. Drivers are still sweaty, and being able to have that interaction, and we've had this conversation with the group. You bring so many guys into the races, they want to get in, drive the car, and go home, and that's really not what that experience should be. It should be, that fan interaction is important, and to get, not only keep the parents involved, but to get the kids involved and liking racing and doing the things that they are having fun with at the racetrack, so they want to come back. It's not just about our event. It's really about how do we build the culture back to that type of event, so that they want to come to a weekly show and they want to see the street stocks race, or build a street stock when they turn whatever age they need to be to go and race a Bandolero or race a legend car or whatever it is. It's trying to build that enthusiasm back up to make those fans into racers, or just fans of the facility. And when I was a kid, we never missed a Saturday night. When the racetrack was open, we were in the grandstands watching, and with so many other kids. Now a lot of that turned into playing on the hill in the dirt, but you were still there, right? Like you were there with your grandpa and your uncle or family, dad, whoever it was. It was something that was just what you did on Saturday night, and that enthusiasm is still there. It's just it's almost reintroducing people to the sport of racing, because it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle for the weekly nights, and I know we're having a big event and it's going to be great, but there's really more to it than just this one event. It's really about the culture on a weekly basis to keep everybody going throughout the year. So I look forward to the night after the race, and being able to experience it all just like everybody else over the weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. The Wenatchee Valley is very hospitable. Jeremy, Garrett, and Michelle will definitely take care of you. Jeremy's couch pulls out, right? So you have a hide-a-bed for Kevin and the crew.
Well, I got 7 kids. I don't know if we can fit in one of those.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
The floor. I get the floor. I got a mattress.
That's fine.
WVSO.com. Get your tickets. Carpool, folks. Parking will be tight. They're bringing extra bleachers, extra help, extra everybody for what's going to be an historic night of racing. Friday during the day practice, Friday night time trials and practice, the draw at downtown East Wenatchee on Friday night, racing on Saturday with Kevin Harvick. Jeremy, go get him, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, ticket to WVSO.com.
WVSO.com. Kevin, thanks for joining us, bud. Look forward to seeing you in the big city.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
All right, a couple of items of business before we head you down the road for the weekend. First of all, Pool Spa Services upgrade relaxation with a personalized one of them jetpack therapy systems. It's an exclusive to Bullfrog Spas, so you can customize your hot tub experience to your very own tushy, which I like to say. Head to Pool Spa Services, check out the Bullfrog Spas. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be glad if you go to the Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival, the 19th, 20th, and 21st of next month. 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Expo Center on the campus of the Chelan County Fairgrounds. A splendid time will be had by all food will be available. Camping, if you want to do the full camping experience, that means what? That means that, you know, you got the water hookup and the electricity and the sewer and all that stuff. That starts, it's first come, first serve, and that starts on Monday the 15th at noon, and those camping spots will fill up quite quickly. Real quickly, I want to mention a couple of things. Omi Gardens closed today. They got some cleaning up to do after the rain and the wind came barreling through the valley last night. Again, we got 3/4 of an inch of rain last night between 10:30 and midnight, which is a brand new record, and we've already set record rainfall for this date because we've got another 1/2 inch of rain between midnight and about 1:15 in the morning. Just a deluge of rain and wind and lightning. It only lasted about 3 hours, but it was 3 pretty crazy hours. What does Mother Nature have in store for us this weekend and into the next week? Pretty quiet. It is going to be considerably cooler today after hitting 93 on Thursday. We'll be lucky if we get to 72 today, and it will be breezy, especially this afternoon and tonight. 49 for the overnight low tonight with some pretty good wind from about 2 o'clock this afternoon until about 10:30 or 11 o'clock tonight. You can see the Greens Knob camera in the background shaking. It's apparently a little windy up at Lake Chelan, but a very pleasant weekend. A little breezy Saturday and Sunday, but nothing we can't handle. And on Monday, first day of June, right back to June type weather. Have a great and safe weekend. We will see you Monday. Until then, bye-bye.